Imagine a bridge built to symbolize absolute power stretching across the sea as a monument to one man's control. Now imagine that same bridge erupting in flames, crumbling before the world's eyes. In that single moment, the illusion of invincibility collapses and a message echoes all the way to Moscow. No empire is untouchable. No power is permanent. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most shocking and defining moments of this war, the destruction of the Crimea Bridge once again. What was once Putin's proudest symbol of dominance has now become a burning reminder of vulnerability. This isn't just a military strike. It's a message sharp, strategic, and impossible to ignore. The Crimea Bridge, also called the Kerch Bridge, was more than just steel and concrete. It was built to connect Russia to Crimea, a land seized and claimed as forever Russian. When Putin inaugurated it driving a bright orange truck across it for the cameras, it wasn't just about engineering, it was about ownership. It was meant to say, "This is ours, and no one can take it back." But now, once again, that confidence has been shattered by the roar of explosions echoing over the Kerch Strait in the quiet hours before dawn. The bridge became a target not of random chaos, but of careful calculation. Explosions tore through its structure, sending waves of fire into the sky. Smoke blanketed the horizon as metal twisted, collapsed, and plunged into the cold waters below. Traffic halted instantly. Panic spread. Russia's prized link to Crimea was crippled again, and this time the damage went beyond repair. It went straight to Moscow's pride. For years, the bridge stood as a symbol of victory. It carried not just civilians, but military convoys, armored vehicles, and endless supplies. It was the lifeline connecting Russian-occupied Crimea with the mainland, vital for sustaining troops in southern Ukraine. Every fuel tanker, every train of ammunition, every military truck relied on that passage. Destroying it isn't just symbolic, it's strategic warfare. It severs the artery that keeps Russia's occupation alive. When the news broke, Russian state media rushed to contain it. They claimed a minor explosion, no serious damage, and business as usual. But satellite images and videos told the real story, a section of the bridge hanging over open water, broken and burning. Rail tracks twisted. Asphalt peeled off in chunks. The structure that once symbolized Russian permanence now looked like the wreckage of failed ambition for Ukraine. This was a message carefully crafted and perfectly timed. After months of enduring missile attacks, blackouts, and brutal fighting, Ukraine has chosen to strike at the very heart of Russia's illusion of control. The message to Moscow was unmistakable. Your power can be reached, your pride can be broken, and your grip on Crimea is slipping. The strike wasn't random or impulsive. It showed precision, coordination, and intelligence. Many experts believe Ukraine used sea drones, small, fast, and nearly impossible to detect. Others point to a mix of long-range missiles and coordinated diversion tactics. Whatever the method, the message was clear. No matter how secure Putin believes his assets are, Ukraine has found the cracks. Putin's response was predictable: rage, denial, and threats of retaliation. But deep down, the Kremlin knows what this means. The attack doesn't just challenge military logistics, it attacks Russia's image. Putin's authority relies on the illusion that Russia is strong, unbreakable, and in control. Every hit on that bridge erodes that illusion, showing weakness where there should be dominance. The psychological impact inside Russia is immense. The bridge wasn't just an engineering project, it was a national icon. It appeared in propaganda videos, patriotic speeches, even school textbooks, as proof that Russia had returned to greatness. Seeing it destroyed again fills ordinary Russians with unease. If such a proud symbol can be hit twice, what else is vulnerable? How safe is Crimea? How strong is the military really? These are questions even state TV can't silence anymore in Ukraine. The reaction is the opposite. People celebrated the news quietly, knowing the risk and cost behind such a daring strike. For them, the bridge's destruction isn't about revenge, it's about hope. It's proof that no matter how overwhelming the enemy seems, persistence and precision can break through. Every plume of smoke over the Kerch Strait tells Ukrainians that their struggle is not in vain strategically. The impact is enormous. The bridge served as a critical supply line for Russian forces fighting in Kherson, Zaporizhia, and Crimea itself. Disabling it forces Russia to reroute supplies through land corridors that are much longer and constantly under Ukrainian attack. It slows down reinforcement, weakens frontline troops, and limits Russia's ability to sustain large-scale offensives. It's like cutting off oxygen to a fire. Rebuilding won't be easy this time. Structural engineers already warned that the bridge was weakened after the first attack. With repeated strikes, its foundation becomes increasingly unstable. Repairs could take months, maybe longer, under constant threat of new attacks. Each time Russia pours money and manpower into fixing it, Ukraine reminds them that it can be destroyed again. It's a war of endurance, and Ukraine is proving its resolve. The bridge's fall also carries immense symbolic weight. To many Russians, it represented unity, the physical connection between the homeland and Crimea. To Ukrainians, it was the chain of occupation, the reminder that their territory had been taken. Now, with that chain broken, it feels like the beginning of liberation. The message is unmistakable. What was taken can be reclaimed. The strike also highlights how far Ukraine's military has evolved. From the early days of the invasion, when it relied on defense and survival, to now conducting precise, deep-reaching operations. The integration of intelligence, Western technology, and indigenous innovation has made Ukraine unpredictable and formidable. Every successful strike like this one is a signal to the world. Ukraine is not a passive victim, it's an active force shaping the outcome of this war. Globally, the attack resonated far beyond the battlefield. Analysts across Europe and the US called it a strategic and psychological earthquake. NATO officials praised Ukraine's resilience while avoiding direct acknowledgement of involvement. The world understands that this war is not just about territory, it's about narrative, morale, and the balance of perception. And with each bold move, Ukraine is rewriting that narrative in its favor. Russia, meanwhile, finds itself trapped between humiliation and fury. It can respond with missile strikes, as it always does. But that doesn't change the fact that the bridge, its proudest achievement, lies in ruins. Every attempt to rebuild it is like patching a broken mask. It might hold for a while, but the cracks are permanent. Even within Russia's elite, whispers of doubt are growing louder. Military bloggers, once loyal to the Kremlin, now criticize the leadership for incompetence. How could this happen again, they ask. What are we defending if our most protected symbol keeps falling? The government responds with censorship, arrests, and silence. But silence doesn't rebuild bridges, and it doesn't restore lost pride. For the soldiers stationed in Crimea, the destruction changes everything. Supplies are delayed, reinforcements uncertain. The sense of security they once felt has evaporated. Every night they look toward the bridge's ruins, knowing they're exposed and isolated. Morale drops, fear grows. And that fear is exactly what Ukraine wants, because wars aren't won only with bullets, but with belief. In the grand picture, this attack shifts momentum. It forces Russia to defend what it thought was untouchable. It reminds the world that Ukraine is still fighting smart, bold, and without hesitation. And it signals to every occupied territory, liberation is not a fantasy. The flames over the Kerch Strait are a signal to Moscow, to the world, and to the future. For Putin, this is a haunting image. The bridge he once crossed with pride now lies shattered under his rule. The very structure that was supposed to unite his empire is now dividing it. It's a metaphor he can't escape, a crumbling bridge for a crumbling dream. No speech or censorship can hide that reality. The message has already been delivered, loud and clear as the smoke fades and Russia scrambles to assess the damage. The echoes of the explosion remain. Ukraine has shown that even the most fortified illusions can fall. What stands after this isn't just broken metal and concrete, it's a changed perception of power. The world now sees that Russia's might is not absolute, and Ukraine's will is not broken. The destruction of the Crimea Bridge isn't the end of a structure. It's the continuation of a message that reaches beyond politics and propaganda. It says that no matter how high the walls, how deep the defenses, truth and determination will always find a way through. The bridge may fall again and again, but each time it does, it brings Ukraine closer to reclaiming what was stolen, not just land, but dignity, independence, and hope. And that, more than anything else, is Ukraine's true message to Moscow